you're watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel. This parcel was in my mail today, and I think I'm going to need a soldering iron for this. So if you want to know what this is and how it sounds like, please join me in this video. Here we go.
So what's inside the box? You've already spotted it. It's the Neutral Labs Elmyra 2, a semi-modular drone synthesizer that now has a white faceplate. But this here is the DIY kit, so this box contains more than a handful of encoders, potentiometers, switches, wires, sockets, a PCB, LEDs, caps and nuts and bolts and screws, and of course a case with a USB port used for powering the synthesizer, and the obligatory set of promotional material. The first step here is to sort all these parts. Let's begin the assembly by putting the 4 contact switches in place. These are 4 circular metal plates that work as a keyboard of sorts. You trigger nodes by closing the electrical circuit, bridging the gap with your fingers. There are 8 of these. Place them in the bottom middle of the faceplate and secure them with some nuts and bolts. Next, solder the 10-pin connector to the main board. Place it in the top middle of the board so its shorter legs are on the empty side of the PCB. Next up is the power connector. Place it on the board on the left side so the notch is facing right. Then solder it in place from the other side. Next, place the switches on the board on the empty side of the PCB. The spots where to place them are printed onto the board. Don't solder them in place yet, just push their legs through the PCB. The legs should hold them in place for now. Then place the plastic caps on the switches. The red cap belongs onto the second switch on the left from the bottom up. After that's done, place the 3.5mm cable plugs on the board. Every spot on the board that has the square with a circle in it has to be fitted with one of these. Next up are the 6 silver potentiometers. These belong in the middle of the board as seen in the video. After that, add the encoders with the black caps. Your board should now look like this. All the encoders, buttons and plugs are in place, but not soldered on yet. Now take the faceplate and place it on top of all of this carefully, as seen in the video. All the plugs should protrude from the faceplate's surface. If they don't, use tweezers to wiggle them ever so slightly until they fit. Turn the construction on its side and fix the 4 touchpads with some nuts. Once that is done, you can turn this on its head carefully. All of the buttons and encoders should now be held in place by the faceplate, allowing us to start soldering all the pins and legs. Once that's done, remove the faceplate again, then put the extension card slot in place, and after that, all of the LEDs. The LEDs can lie flat on the board at first. Put on the faceplate again and turn the synth around so the LEDs' heads fall down onto the faceplate. Then solder the LEDs in place and cut off the excess legs with some pincers. Now put all the nuts in place. There are 6 big nuts for the 6 big encoders, and there's 1 nut for every cable plug on the board. Solder the power cable to the USB port. Then plug in the power cable to the power socket you soldered in previously, put the square nuts into the slots in the case, and then put the synth into the case as well. Be careful not to shake the case too much, otherwise the nuts will fall out again, and then fix it with the 4 black screws and nuts. Now place the 6 black caps on the encoders, and with that the build is finished. The only device with CV outputs in my collection is the MPC-1. Instead of patch cables, I'll use these 3.5mm stereo to mono cables. Left side goes to tune, right side to gate. Funny thing is, on the MPC, the ports are numbered 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 8, so keep that in mind when setting up your tracks.
Yeah, and that's it for today. The neutral Labs Elmyra 2, a semi-modular synthesizer that can stand on its own outside of a Eurorack. So if you found this was a good YouTube video, please do the YouTube thing. As always, thanks for watching and see you again very soon. Bye bye!